it's like number 5, but it's to a crucial point to where we can't lose. We have, mm-hmm.
Puts Reagan in a tough position, right?
Oh yeah. But she's the fresh.
Doing great,
She's the freshman that.
Yeah.
It's been fun. It's been fun. It's just weird because I remember when they were like in kindergarten.
Babes, yeah.
We're waiting on Monte. Oh yeah, got to now. Got to now. Hello. Thought it was. Hello.
Hello. I'm on. Yep.
Yes.
Good? Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A quorum of the Planning and Zoning Commission being present, I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. Citizens may appear before the Planning and Zoning Commission to address items not listed on the agenda in accordance with procedural rules as determined by the meeting chair and by submitting a public comment form to the chairperson no later than the conclusion of the final agenda item or call to order. Is there anybody from the public that's here that would like to speak tonight? Okay. Is it concerning an item not on the agenda? Okay, yeah, you can come up and you've got 2 minutes. Okay, yeah, go ahead and you can come up to the podium here.
Good evening. My name is Jana McCown, and I thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I want to begin sincerely thanking the City of Howe and everyone involved in making a full-time ambulance service available for the residents of our community. What you have done was not just an administrative decision, it was a life-saving commitment, and my family is living proof of that. More than 20 years ago, my mother suffered a sudden medical emergency at our home off Bennett Road. Her heart stopped for what felt like an eternity. My sons performed CPR while Will's best friend Sergio Lopez stood at the top of the driveway waiting to flag down an ambulance. At that time, the ambulance response took 20 to 25 minutes. The first responders from Howe arrived quickly, but they had limited equipment. They tried to revive her, but she did not respond. When the transporting ambulance finally arrived, they worked on her for more than 30 minutes and at our driveway before she was stable enough to transport to Wilson and Jones. Luckily, our sons and Sergio were there, and she survived. She had not suffered a heart attack. Her potassium electrolytes had dropped dangerously low, and today she lives a full and healthy life. We have been grateful for that miracle ever since that day. Fast forward to this past year. In July of 2025, my husband underwent a liver transplant at Baylor, Dallas. Shortly afterwards, he developed a complication from a serious infection. Then on a Sunday evening in October, after feeling fine all day, he suddenly became extremely weak. He told me, "Honey, my legs feel like they weigh 2,000 pounds and I can't lift my arms. Call 911 and call Sergio." Sergio arrived before the ambulance. This time everything was different. The ambulance arrived in about 5 to 8 minutes. By then, my husband was struggling to breathe. The EMT worked quickly and calmly to stabilize him and transport him to Baylor McKinney, as I knew he needed to go to Dallas. The next morning, he was airlifted to downtown Baylor, where he spent 3.5 weeks in the hospital. Once again, it was not a heart attack. Just like my mother, his electrolytes and potassium had dropped dangerously low, throwing his heart into crisis. But because help arrived quickly, because trained professionals are right here in Howe, my husband is alive today. He has made a full recovery. I truly believe that without the ambulance service, he would not be here with me today as I tell this story. So tonight, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank every EMT who responded that evening. I want to thank Sergio Lopez for being there when we needed him most. And I want to thank the City of Howe for recognizing how vital this service is to people who live here. To show our appreciation, my family has made an initial donation of $2,000 to the fire department, and we will continue to make a monthly contribution of $1,000 to them through this time next year. Hopefully, this donation will help them acquire more and better equipment to help save more lives of the people of this community. The ambulance did not just serve our family, it saved a life, and for that, we will be forever grateful. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. And is there anyone else here from the public that would like to address the P&Z board? Nope? Okay. All right, I'm going to move on to, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't see it.
We're having our council meeting afterwards.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to our first action item to discuss, consider, and act upon the minutes of the meeting from our October 21st, 2025 meeting. Have any discussion? Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Okay, Brandon moves first. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Nicole is seconding, and all in favor? No opposed. All right. On to number 2, discuss, consider, and act upon the preliminary and final plat for Bain Machinery Edition.
This is a commercial development in between Abington Meadows and Southwest Auction. Bain Machinery is a very high reputable business that'll fit in well with that strip of land down on 75. They're taking 10 acres of the 30 that they own, and they plan on redeveloping the other 20 at a different time. But this is just the plat, just to move forward so they can begin the process to develop that property. Our engineer has reviewed the plat and has no objection.
Okay, thank you, Monty. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion. Oh, sorry.
Nicole,
I'll motion
for
for,
approval.
I'll motion for approval.
Okay, all right. Nicole's gonna get the motion started.
I'll second.
Brandon's a second. All in favor? And none opposed. Okay, moving on to number 3, discuss, consider, and act upon the conveyance plat for Ponderosa Point.
You should have the conveyance plant in front of you, and this is, as you mentioned, for Ponderosa Point, this is the Taco Bell. This conveyance plat is where that business will go as they carve out a section of that entire property. So our engineer has reviewed this conveyance plat and has no objection.
Do you have any questions? Okay. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
All right, Brandon motions.
second.
Larry seconds. All in favor? And none opposed. All right. Action item number 4, discuss, consider, and act upon the final plat for Oak National Development.
This is the Talbot Estates final plat. They've already had a preliminary plat that was approved. We've annexed the property. All that's left is the final plat to be approved, and then once final plat, then we go to zoning after that. Our engineer has approved or has no objections to this. So another thing with this final plat, it was just about done, and last week I sent it back to them and asked them if they could make one tiny correction on the final plat, and that was to rename the streets. I know Kevin Wilson, our former superintendent, lives right across the street from that development, so I asked them if they could name that street Wilson Street, and also the long street that'll eventually go into our park will be Thompson Street, after Charles R. Thompson, longtime superintendent. The connector streets between those two will be Boyle Street for Arthur Boyle, former superintendent, and then the back cul-de-sac will be Wheeler Circle after longtime superintendent back in the 1920s and 30s. So it's kind of a superintendent's court, I guess.
You remember
over
that
there.
well, don't you?
Yeah,
I'm
I do.
kidding.
I'll remember it. So I know when Kevin Wilson likes to take walks, at least he can walk on his own street there.
So I actually walked to the back of that property, and I was just curious, so the park's going to connect on the back side once you go past that creek area? Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am. Eventually, it won't be initially, but eventually a bridge will have to be built to connect Thompson Street to the back end of that park. And we are anticipating Thompson Street to connect through the park and out to 902. That's the long-term vision for that.
Okay, thank you. Any questions regarding the Oak National Development? No? Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
All right, thank you, Brandon.
I'll second.
Larry seconds. All in favor? And none opposed. All right, action item number 5, discuss, consider, and act upon the preliminary and final plat for the Life Fellowship Church. Is this a go for tonight?
Tim, you want to help us out on this one since you're the Darth Vader of this whole thing? No. Oh, did he send it in? Hold on.
I'm sorry, Commission. I apologize. Monty and I, there were some last-minute emails back and forth, so I'm trying to make sure we're all on the same page here. Regardless, I'll go ahead and start. The engineer kind of always gets blamed for denying everything, and we did have a discussion with the church owners and the representatives, and we agreed on a lot of things, but there are some things on the plat that I really think need to be addressed before I recommend approval. We don't really, I haven't really seen a good site plan yet, and it's very hard to get easements, fire lane easements, utility easements, if I haven't seen that yet. So I wrote to Monty yesterday, and so I do not recommend approval based on the information I still need.
So, with that being said, we did have a conversation with them. We have a shot clock where we have to take action within 30 days of submittal on plats, and we've received it within that time frame. We asked them today, I told them that we didn't have everything we need, and that we would either, one, deny it, or two, if they'll send in a waiver on that shot clock, then we'll table it. And so it's really a matter of trust, and since it's a church and it's a preacher, should I trust a preacher? So with that, I would recommend tabling it, because we're going to trust that they do send in that shot clock waiver, and then we'll come back next month, which I think will be early in the month anyway, and we should have all our ducks in a row for that. So I would recommend someone to motion for a table on this item.
Okay.
Yeah, I move that we table the next month.
All right, Larry makes the motion. I have a second.
I'll second.
Brandon seconds. All in favor? And that's none opposed. Okay, thank you. Moving on to the final item on our agenda is ordinance number 845. It's an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Howe, Texas, amending Howe's zoning ordinance as amended to zone a tract of land consisting of 45.48 acres of land located in the West Park Survey, abstract number 0925, Grayson County, Texas, in the City of Howe, Grayson County, Texas, heretofore zoned A, Agricultural District, providing that the tract is hereby rezoned as SF1, that's Single Family Residential District 1, describing the tract to be rezoned, providing a penalty clause, savings and repealing clause, severability clause, and an effective date, and providing for the publication of the caption hereof. So I'm going to open that up for public hearing. Is that okay?
Let me make a statement real quick.
First. Okay.
And James, if I miss anything, just go ahead and step on up before I say something that maybe I shouldn't. The zoning approval is recommended by city staff. We have already annexed the property, as mentioned earlier. We've committed over $500,000 on a water line to run through our park, our expansion of City of Howe taxpayers' funds. They've committed, as seen earlier in the agenda, well, you'll see in the City Council agenda, they've committed over $200,000 to improve Duke Street, and that will be a complete rebuild from the service road all the way to the railroad tracks. So that entire portion will be rebuilt. You know, I understand, anytime you grow in your, out in the country, so to speak, even though we've annexed it, concerns over land and development, and I certainly understand that. But when landowners sell, they don't ask the City of Howe who they're going to sell to. And a lot of times landowners will sell to developers, and then it's up to us to be able to do what the developer intends to do, and then we have to go forward with that. And James, if you want to follow up on any of that.
Sure. And I guess I would actually go back a little bit and kind of give you maybe a little bit of more background on this. So when this property first came to us, it was an ETJ property. And cities are very limited on what they can do in their ETJ. And so this property first started out as an ETJ project. They actually moved forward with a preliminary plat, and in order to gain more control over what is occurring out there, we ended up negotiating for a development agreement, which then led to the annexation of the property. And so that then brings it within the city, which means we do now have zoning authority that we wouldn't have had if it would have remained in the ETJ. The way that your zoning ordinance works is that once you zone something, it automatically comes in as ag. So as when we annex the property in, it automatically comes in as ag. And so now that property is sitting in your city limits as ag property. And so what we're doing here is we're actually now moving it to SF1, which will again allow the city to have more rules, more regulations, more control, building inspections, and things like that. So there's more control over the extent and the quality of the project. And so this is a zoning ordinance. It's a very standard zoning ordinance that, again, really all it's doing is it's taking that property from its current ag designation and moving it to an SF1. And again, this property is something that was already moving forward as a residential development even before the annexation. So all we're trying to do here is to get the proper zoning in place after annexation, so we have the proper rules and regulations to apply to what's going on out there.
I might add that even though it's SF1, which are 70-foot frontage lots, that's the closest thing we have to half-acre lots. So that's why we zoned it SF1. This property will be half-acre lots on their subdivision, so there'll be much larger lots. It's going to be Astra Homes put together a nice property, so. Public comments?
Thank you. Yes, I'm going to open it up for public comment. If anyone has a comment on this ordinance, you can come up to the podium. All right. I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing portion and get back to the agenda. Bear with me a second. All right, so now, Commission, we're going to discuss, consider, and act upon ordinance number 845. Y'all have any questions?
On what we just discussed. Do they know of any of the developers that are wanting to be involved?
Oak National Development will be the home builder, and they are Astra Homes. They've got subdivisions in Rockwall and down around that area. What we've seen has been very impressive, and it'll be a very nice touch to the east side of Howe. I think it'll fit in nicely with the homes that are across the street on Old Highway 6.
Any other questions? Okay, do we have a motion?
I move to accept.
Okay, Larry leads that motion.
I will second that motion.
All right, Nicole seconds. All in favor? And none opposed. Okay. So that being the final item on the agenda, we're going to call this meeting to adjourn at 6:22 p.m. Thank you, ma'am.
You got one too many mics.
No, you don't even need it. Your voice can be used.
We live?
Good evening. We have a lot on our agenda, and just so you're aware, so clarification for everyone, we do have a Board of Adjustment meeting first. That Board of Adjustment is the council, but we have to hold that Board of Adjustment meeting separate from the City Council meeting. So our Board of Adjustment meeting should not take very long, and then we will move into the City Council meeting. Again, just for clarification, so people understand. I will do my very best to speed things along. And for the council's information, I am going to probably give you more discussion than normal, but the city administrator is here, our city attorney is here, and our city engineer is here, so you're welcome to ask them for further clarification if I don't give you enough discussion. There being a quorum present, this Board of Adjustment of the Howe City Council is hereby called to order on Tuesday, January 20, 2026 at 6:27 p.m. under the Open Meetings Act of the State of Texas. If you will, remove your hats and silence your cell phones, and let's stand for the invocation that's going to be led by Councilman Chad Woods.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for today, and thank you for this gathering of both citizens and city official, Lord. We just pray that you be with us tonight and just lead, guide, and direct us as we go about doing what's in the best interest of the city, and just let your will be done. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. And now for our pledges. Pledge of the United States. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now for the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. Please be seated. The City Council invites citizens to speak to the council on topics on the agenda not already scheduled for public hearing or on any topic on which the City Council has authority. Citizens may address the council for a maximum of 2 minutes. The council is unable to respond to or discuss any issues that are brought up during this section that are not on the agenda, other than to make a statement of specific factual information in response to a citizen's inquiry or to recite existing policy in response to the inquiry. Except for public hearing items, please submit a public comment form to the mayor. I do have public comment forms, and for those that gave them to me, we're going to do that during the city council meeting unless you object to that, but I feel like that's more fitting. Okay.
Mayor, unless someone has something for this particular item, I would think you'd want to let them speak if it's concerning this item.
Yes, and so, yes, this is going to be specifically if we have a discussion item, somebody wants to speak on this, the item, which I'll go ahead and read it. It's going to be discuss, consider, and act upon variance request for property at 1001 Keck Street, Howe, Texas, property ID 152862, G-0825 Marshall John CA-G0825 acres 0.64. Anyone need to discuss that item? Okay, moving on. Current business. Mr. Braun Ballou has asked for a variance for the property at 1001 Keck Street, Howe, Texas. Property ID 152-862G-0825 Marshall John CA-G 0825 acres, .64. The requested change is for variance for an additional 340 square feet to match the layout of the existing garage and home. This adjustment, under the unique circumstances, has been approved by the city engineer, Tim Porter. Item number 1, discuss, consider, and act upon minutes of the meeting from May 21, 2024. Does this council wish to discuss action item number 1? And if not, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve number 1.
Billy is going to make a motion to approve the minutes of May 21, 2024. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Sean makes that second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Action item number 2, discuss, consider, and act upon the minutes of the meeting for April 15, 2025. Does the council wish to discuss this item? If not, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve number
Billy
2
makes,
as well.
Billy makes that motion to approve action item number 2 for minutes of the April 15, 2025 meeting. Do I have a second?
Second. Good. Second.
All right. Ed is going to make that second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Number 3, discuss, consider, and act upon the variance request for the property at 1001 Keck Street, Howe, Texas, property number ID 152-862G-0825 Marshall John CA-G0825 acres 0.64. Does the council wish to discuss this item, or do you need additional information? If not, do we have a motion
I'll motion.
to?
A motion to approve.
Sean is going to make that motion to approve, and do I have a second?
I'll second.
Billy is making that second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. If there's no further business to come before this Board of Adjustment, this meeting stands adjourned at 6:32 p.m. All right. Hold tight, people, please. Moving on next to our City Council meeting. There being a quorum present, this regular session of the Howe City Council is hereby called to order on Tuesday, January 2026 at 6:33 p.m. Under the Open Meetings Act of the State of Texas, the City Council invites citizens to speak to the council on topics on the agenda not already scheduled for public hearing, or on any topic on which the City Council has authority. Citizens may address the council for a maximum of 2 minutes. The council is unable to respond to or discuss any issues that are brought up during this section that are not on the agenda, other than to make a statement of specific factual information in response to a citizen inquiry, or to recite existing policy in response to the inquiry. Except for public hearing items, please submit your public comment form to the mayor. I have received some, and again, if there's someone that needs to speak that did not give it to me, please do say so now. Okay. Ms. McCowan, she gave her comment earlier. I'm guessing she's not here anymore, so. Ms. Georgia Caraway, if you'll come up and speak into the microphone, we do need you to give your name and your address when you speak, before you comment.
Good evening. My name is Georgia Caraway. I live at 204 King Avenue here in Howe. Thank you very much for allowing us to speak. 11 years ago, you would not have been able to be in this room holding this council meeting because this building was so derelict. And I think it's an exciting thing that happened here. And honestly, it was a miracle, because when I first came to town, then, I was told that this building was either going to be torn down or something was going to happen to it, and restoration wasn't a possibility. But Monty and a committee headed by Jean Norman, who is in herself a force, they got together, and I see that Dusty is here also. We formed this committee, and within 5 years, we had raised the money and got together and restored this building. And you're going to hear tonight about, and that's a miracle, honestly. Tonight, you're going to hear about another miracle, and I'm not going to address that at this point because I don't want to spoil things. But this little town is pretty amazing. It's small, it's wonderful, and it has the best heart. And I'm so proud to be a citizen of Howe, Texas, and I thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Up next, we have Miss Marie Curtis. She does have a couple different, two separate items she wishes to discuss. Yes, ma'am, if you need it. It just,
Always negotiate.
Anyway,
you don't get what you don't ask for, right?
That's exactly right.
So,
I'm Marie Curtis, and I live at 901 North Denny Street, and that's the first one I want to talk about. The road is really bad. I got pictures if y'all would like to see them. It's chug holes, but I didn't know how to address this because Patterson is where I live. Highway 5 is going in front of my house, and the road is messed up on both Highway 5 and Patterson Street. So I don't know if the city will be responsible for fixing it, or the state, or y'all.
on Highway 5, you have to contact TxDOT, the Paris office.
But if y'all want to see how bad the holes are, I saw somebody hit it the other day and their tire went flat. So I wanted to bring it up and let y'all be aware of it. If y'all want to see the picture that I have.
Are those from Highway 5 or Patterson?
Well, both.
Okay.
So I'll have those right here for you. The next one is a safety idea, a safety thing, and it's a deer crossing. Since they've been tearing down all the trees and all that stuff, the poor deers has been crossing over the road going to the other side. And I have deer. I saw this the other day. It's the reason I did this. This is about a 200-pound deer, and it was hit right past the Rock House going to 902 on Highway 5. There's this hill there, and you can't see going up that hill that way or that way. And I was wondering what the process would be if I could get a deer crossing sign so they would slow down, because you can't see over those hills.
Is it Highway 5?
Highway 5 at Langford's,
Yeah,
the Rock House.
we can speak with TxDOT about that, about an installation of something.
There've been 3 deers hit in the last month. And I have the deer picture too, if you want to see the poor thing. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have.
I do recommend that you reach out. We will reach out to TxDOT, as Monty mentioned, but I'd recommend that you reach out as well. I've actually reported the road condition on 5 to them.
At Patterson Street?
On Highway 5. But again, I think it would be helpful if you would also reach out to them.
That's what I had. I said, what process do I need to do to
Yes,
get the
ma'am.
deer crossings?
And it's the Paris office.
I can't imagine the vehicle that hit that deer.
It's a shame.
I wonder if they had a police report on it. Okay. There's been 3 hit.
Yeah, it's like the mayor said, it's always best to inundate those. I think the county commissioner, that's how things get done over there, isn't that right?
I don't need a bus. Hey, do you
But-
feel like a deer?
But anyways,
Thank you, appreciate it.
That's all I have.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Moving on to our mayor comments, the regular meetings for the February and April meeting are going to need to be moved for the council. We have a conflict for our two regular council meetings, the months of February and April. Our conflict is early voting will be taking place during our regular city council meeting dates until 7 p.m. I can cancel these meetings, these regular meetings, and make them a special meeting. However, it'd be much easier if the council just votes to move the regular meeting dates. And down later in the agenda, you're going to see that we're going to request that we move the February 17th meeting to February 10. We're moving it up 1 week. And then the April meeting, we're requesting the April 21st meeting be moved up 1 week to April 14th. We won't ask for that April meeting till next month, but the February one is on here. Some important dates to take note of is Howe Hump Day Networking Breakfast is held every first Wednesday of the month. This next one is February 4th from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. here in Summit Gardens. Everyone is welcome. BVRT 2. Water Utility Company is hosting the Heart of North Texas Luncheon on Tuesday, March 17, 2026 at 11:30 a.m. For those of you who are not aware, BVRT2 is partnering with us for our sewer needs. The cost is $15 and anyone can attend. Please sign up online at the Howe Area Chamber of Commerce website. The Howe Hall of Honor is going to be held on Tuesday, April 28, 2026. Again, please register online at the Howe Area Chamber of Commerce website. Howe Founders Day is going to be May 2, 2026. If you would like to sponsor this event, the cost is $500 and you can register for that online at the Howe Area Chamber of Commerce. Now we're moving on to our Mayor Bragg moment, where we recognize individuals for achievements and behaviors that positively affect the citizens and community. During our November 2025 regular city council meeting, I had the honor of recognizing the Harvey's Blessing Build project, an effort that united extraordinary individuals to build a safe and improved home for a local veteran in need. Tonight, I want to recognize all the extraordinary individuals and businesses who made this project possible. Myself, the council, and the city of Howe want to express our heartfelt appreciation for your exceptional service and participation in the Harvey's Blessing Build. Through your efforts, you have positively impacted the lives of others and strengthened our community. When I call your name, if you would, please come forward to receive a certificate of recognition, which will be presented by the city administrator, Monty Walker. I ask that you stay up front so we can all stare at you, but also, no, really, so we can take a group picture of you all. I have a lengthy list, but I'm going to call this out really quickly, I'm hoping for. I think it's really important to name these individuals because everybody did such a great job. And I have a list, it's kind of small print, so I gotta get my camera out, my light. So Karen with Zimmer Kubota, and I apologize up front if I mispronounce somebody's name. Jason Langford, Crazy AC Guy, Brett Brenner, Rapid Electric, Brian Ross, OK Roofers, John Lindley, MTE Exteriors, Tom Troxtel, all in Custom Gutters, Bruce Borovica, Double D Hobby Shop, Billy Ingram, Howe City Council, Roy Harpole, Victory Sand and Gravel, Amy Gibbs, True Measure, Chris Gibbs, True Measure, Carson Gibbs, True Measure, Hayden Calhoun, Trent, Brother Plumber, Jacob Gallardo with Jog Construction, Josh Romero, Star Tile and Services, Selena with Bear, Josh with McKinney Home Depot, Sherman Lowe's, Matt Skaggs with Matt Skaggs Engineering, Liz with A1 Porta Potty, Chris Noah with Preston Trail Land Surveying, Amanda Gardner with House Storage, Muriel with Vintage Flooring, Philip Tillett with Tillett Dirt and Construction Materials, Keith with ABC, Kobe Caraway with C&C Concrete, Brandy with Ready Mix Davis, Jennifer and Donnie White, Sean Brim with Texama Roofing, Roger with Roger Brown, Ivan Minivar with Aiden's Construction, Terry Lee, Moose with Kelly Sod Farm, Daniel Cook, Linda Worley with W&W Concrete Plumbing, Kimberly Ann, Reno Marsh with Marsh Dev Construction, Anna Martinez, Dustin with Action Gypsum, Texas Building Supply, Katrina with Rib Crib, Texas Roadhouse, John with Three Nations Brewery, Amber Troxtel, Plumbing, Carlos Salinas, Janie Finney, Teresa Hendry, Total Septic, Sharina Polson, Georgia Caraway, M&L Drywall, Carlos with ProWorks Granite, Ernesto with CTE Painting, Adam with 2S Tree Removal, Main Street Lumber, Millworks, George with Aranza Shower and Glass, Bailey with Frontier Waste, Paula Johnson, Abby's Restaurant, Phil and Jill Ferris, TL Design, Daniel Kelly, Justin Johnson with the City of Howe Public Works, BVRT 2. Also, I want to mention Debbie Lowry, who made, according to Billy, made the initial post on Facebook notifying others of the urgent need for a heater for this elderly veteran. Several anonymous donors. These anonymous donors donated an entire housewarming Amazon list. A truck was donated, insurance for a truck and house was paid for a year. Individuals who came out to the open house and brought food to fill the veterans' food pantry. Individuals who laid sod just a few weeks ago. Acts of kindness like this are the reason we are the heart of North Texas. Let's give them an applaud. Did you want to take a photo, Monty, of them? Thank you all. We'll now move on to the mayor proclamation. The City of Howe, Texas proclamation honoring America's semi-quincentennial. Whereas July 4, 2026 marks the semi-quincentennial of the signing of our country's Declaration of Independence, a defining moment of the history of the United States, and whereas America 250, a nationwide commemorative recognizing 2.5 centuries of freedom, democracy, innovation, and resilience, honoring the sacrifices and achievements of generations who built and defended the nation, and a focus on Honor America Days that encompass Flag Day, June 14th, commemorating the adoption of the United States flag on this date in 1777, Emancipation Day, June 19th, Juneteenth, or the day 1865 when Union troops arrived in Galveston, Texas, and ensured all formerly enslaved people were freed, and Independence Day, 4th of July. The day Continental Congress approved final wording of the Declaration of the Independence, and whereas the City of Howe joins communities across the country in celebrating this milestone, reflecting on shared values of liberty, equality, and justice, and while recommitting ourselves to build a brighter future for all. And whereas, Whereas this commemoration provides an opportunity to engage residents in civic pride, cultural expression, historical reflection, and visible displays of community involvement, ensuring that the legacy of America's founding countries to inspire generations to come. And whereas the City of Howe, Texas recognizes the importance of honoring the diverse voices, stories, and contributions that have shaped our nation over 250 years and celebrates the unity that binds us together as Americans. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Carla McDonald, Mayor of the City of Howe, Texas, do hereby proclaim that the City of Howe proudly honors America 250 and encourages all residents to participate in commemorative events, educational programs, and community celebrations that reflect the enduring spirit of our nation, and hereby accepts the official America 250 flag in honor of our citizens' dedicated support to the ideas, our Declaration of Independence articulated 2.5 centuries ago. In witness whereof, I hereby unto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Howe, Texas, to be affixed this 20th day of January 2026. And Dusty Williams is here to present this flag.
Wait, we get to keep it? Yes. Yes. See ya.
All right. Consent items. These items consist of non-controversial or housekeeping items required by law. Items may be considered individually by any council member making such a request prior to a motion and vote on the consent items. 1, discuss, consider, and act upon consent items which are marked by an asterisk. These items are minutes of the regular council meeting, December 16, 2025, bills being paid for the month, detailed check register, statement of revenue and expenditures, South State Bank, secure deposits, December 2025, recap and standings, December 2025, election items, reoccurring joint election contract with Howe ISD, notice of general election, order of election, May 2, 2026, Grayson County Tax Assessor reports, 2025 certified annual tax report, 2026 tax roll values. Does the council wish to discuss any of these items? And if not, do I have a motion? Yes, ma'am. Sorry, forgot
okay.
Michelle, I think, said something to me already.
Mayor, council, there are some items on the consent agenda that I needed to make you aware of before you make a motion. I did provide to you the 2025 certified annual tax report, and I also provided the 2026 tax roll values. There are some changes that just occurred this past week with Grayson County that you'll need to be made aware of. Previously in the past, we had a contract with the Howe ISD for joint elections. Grayson County is now requiring a contract to be issued to both, from the city of Howe plus the Howe ISD. And the reason for this is now each entity will be required to pay their portion of the cost for elections. So previously in the past, the city of Howe has been paying the full amount of the bill, but now if Howe ISD wants to participate in a joint election, they will be responsible for the other half. The notice of general election is a draft from Grayson County, and the reason for this is because the locations have not been confirmed yet. They don't anticipate to have that available to us until next month, but obviously due to deadlines from the election, we need to post them here on our city council meeting.
All right.
Any questions?
Questions from the council?
Okay.
All right.
Thank
If
you.
not, do we have a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
Billy makes that motion to approve consent items. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ed is making a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Moving on to discussion items. Departmental reports. Howe Police Department, Chief Sullivan.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before I get started with this evening's report, I'd like to kind of tell a little story bragging on my team. November and December, we saw some issues where we had some burglaries in our community. One of them directly affected our local church. Everyone on my team worked on this case, and I would like to know that we made an arrest and were able to turn the victims back their property without it being damaged. You know, it's partnerships like this with our community that helped us solve this crime, and the dedication of everyone on my team working relentlessly trying to find the offender and hold them accountable, which we did. So really appreciate the work that they do in making our community safe. As far as the monthly report in December of 25, we saw an 81% increase in call volume. So we are starting to see a more aggressive tick in how our calls. Also in your report, you'll notice that I put our 2025 racial profiling report, which I'm required to report by law. Kind of a summarization of that is we did 1,654 traffic stops. 69% are male, 30% are female, 53% of the violators are white, 25% are Hispanic, and 13% are black. The review of this data alone does not indicate that we have an issue with racial profiling. It just does a statistical breakdown of how our department engages our community. For the month of December, we did 34 hours of in-service. In December 25, we answered 221 calls for service versus 122 calls in 2024. It's an 81% increase over the volume. Overall, for 2025, we saw a 49.3% increase in volume over 2024. So we're seeing almost a 50% call volume, which is pretty common for our growth, the change in our departments and how we patrol our city. We issued 78 citations, 71 warnings. So overall for 2025, we issued 899 citations, 840 warnings, compared to approximately 248 citations that were issued in 2024, with most of those occurring in the last 90 days of 2024. We arrested 64 people, so our department stays busy in trying to find ways to keep our community safe. Code enforcement worked on 10 new investigations, wrote 1 citation, 1 warning, and 4 follow-up from previous investigations. On January the 27th at 11:30 from 1 p.m., we'll be hosting a crime prevention meeting with our apartment complex community. All their managers have agreed to come visit. We'll be providing them lunch so we can talk about ways to make our apartment community safer. That's all I have unless you have a question.
Any questions or comments from the council? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next up is Howe Fire Department, Chief Monet.
Mayor, Council, good evening. In the month of December, the Howe Fire Rescue answered 81 calls for service, with these calls being EMS, MVAs, fires, false alarms, and mutual aid calls. This gave us a total call number of 624 calls for the year of 2025. The yearly call volume is steadily increasing year after year, which goes with our growth. Our growth will steadily increase, and our call numbers will grow with them. Myself, Chief Monet, participated in the Texas Fire Chiefs Association workshop in December to further my experience and education on leadership skills and knowledge. It was a great event, great networking. It was very well worth going to. Our training continues to go smoothly and improve our skills and knowledge. We logged approximately 120 hours of training for the month of December. And in 2026, we are planning on logging much more and participating in trainings all over the state. Our full-time EMS crews continue to grow in their roles and certifications by learning new and improved skills. Our EMS is running smoothly, and we continue to work and provide maintenance to our fleet to keep them on the road. Howe Fire Rescue received a grant from the Texas Forestry Service for fire equipment that we will start ordering items soon. This grant was for $25,000. These items are items we need to run a fireground operation more effectively efficiently and safely. We have taken possession of our new battalion vehicle on 1/7/2026. It's the red Chevy Silverado with a camper shell outside. If you guys would like to see it or see it coming down the street, that's who it is and that's what it is. We're in the process of getting it decaled and other items installed and placed inside to better utilize its full potential. Thank you for all that you do. Any questions?
Council, questions or comments? All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Next up is City Secretary, Ms. Hewitt.
Mayor, Council, we don't have any new system updates to report. Everything is running smoothly. Sam, our permit clerk, has finished her training of utilities, permits, and service orders in FundView, so she is running at full steam ahead. Jessica, our court clerk, is studying to take her level 1 court clerk certification test shortly. We finished our TML audit. We also collected $33,880.70 for the month of December. That puts us back on track on the trend that we had prior to the dip that we had in November. We also issued 6 warrants for the month of December. Any questions?
Council, questions or comments? All right, Ms. Hewitt, thank you so much. We appreciate you. City Administrator, Mr. Walker.
Mayor, Council. Public Works carried out 108 service orders. 6 new meters were set, 3 leaks were repaired. Pothole patching used 10 tons. 3 water main leaks were repaired, 1 very large one. 11 disconnections for move-outs, and they had 4 hours of mowing and 2 sewer main backups. Jerry spent 113 hours on wells, sampling and reporting. Completed construction of 2 small buildings at well site 2 and 4 to house the SCADA level control at the base of the towers to prevent freezing, which is coming. Jay Newland making good progress on the hydrant flow testing and painting. It's nearing completion. We brought him back in the mix, and that's a good thing that we did. Rapid Electric has completed testing for the backflows of our hydrant meters and the installation of the heaters as well at the well sites and a backup generator for the office for the main SCADA controls. As far as my report, the developments, the developments take a very long time, so a lot of these have been on the list for a very long time. For time's sake, I won't repeat them all. I know I have multiple months in a row. So we'll move on to the commercial part. Dirt is being moved to create the pad sites for Taco Bell and 7-Eleven, and we'll talk more about Taco Bell in a moment down on the agenda. 7 acres on Duke Street has closed for a Flex mini warehouse development, and that will begin in phases due to existing sewer taps. PSA has been signed, as you'll remember, and we'll now be working towards a development agreement to bring you in the future. KK Building Supply is moving into the former Old America and Magnafab building on the east side of 75. This will be a huge sales tax base for us. And an outdoor stone company will be next to them in that wing area of that building. They've replatted, so they're good to go. EDC is under contract for the first stage of a downtown redevelopment project. We're calling Project Hotel. Phase 1 study has been done and completed, and the EDC is meeting next week on the 29th. A retail development project has been submitted for the corner of Aubrey and Collins Freeway. I got an email about this again today. They wanted to put a convenience store there, and convenience stores sell beer and wine, and they're next to the right next to the school property, so that's not going to work. So I got an email today that they're just going to do a gas station. So we're in the very, very early stages of that. We'll see where that goes. The streets we'll talk about later on the agenda. There's a lot of them there for council to make a decision on. Personnel and offer has been presented to an individual to fill a vacant police officer position. BVRT, close to finalizing the land purchase. And we have some documents here that'll be made public for anyone to come by and visit. Tell me again what that document is. It's the discharge permit for the north plant. So that'll be made available if anybody wants to come see it. We've got a big, huge, massive book if you love reading. Water, we had a very large leak near Abington Meadows that I reported on last month. The majority of the water entered our sewer system. So you can imagine what that did to our sewer bill. Instead of $64,000 and $65,000, which we've been seeing lately, it was $214,000. It's very hard to deal with on a budget. So we're making arrangements for that, and we're getting assistance from our friends at BVRT to try to help us out in negotiations with Sherman, and hoping that that goes well. Equipment. The council passed last month the Mini-X and the Hydrovac, so we're getting documents from, Michelle's helping get documents in order to government capital so that we can get those things in place and get them to the Public Works crew. And we have a renewal on the agenda tonight of the F-150 and the ambulances that we'll need to renew. And the PD has finally got their enterprise vehicle fleet. How many? One of three. So moving on up like George and Wheezy. We got the battalion truck, and Public Works also received their two vehicles. On the water side, the total amount billed was $258,874. Total count was 385 units. That's pretty good. That's trending upwards, so that's good. Still not going to cover our sewer bill, but we'll make up for it somewhere. And that's all I got.
Any questions or comments from the council? Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Moving on to our action items. Number 2, discuss, consider, and act upon investment report. Discussion. For the month of October, the city accrued $6,027.98 in interest with all of our city-owned accounts. The EDC accrued $1,834.53. Logic is currently yielding 3.86%, while Techstar is yielding 3.69%. Does the council wish to discuss this item further? And if not, do I have a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
Sean is making that motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Chad is making a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Number 3, discuss, consider, and act upon the following interest-bearing checking accounts with South State Bank: street maintenance, permits, meters, Howe Community Library, and donations for the employee celebrations. Discussion. It is recommended that we separate bank accounts for different uses to ensure transparency, accountability, legal compliance, and easier financial management. Upon further investigation, the city cannot legally open an account specifically for donations for employee celebrations. Therefore, should you approve this action item, please exclude approving donations for employee celebrations, or specify that you do not approve of this specific account so that we can remain compliant with the law. Does the council wish to discuss this item? And if not, do I have a motion?
I motion to approve all of those accounts minus the donations for employee celebrations.
Thank you, sir. That's Billy that makes that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Chad is making that second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Number 4, discuss, consider, and act upon the renewal of the lease purchase agreement between the City of Howe and South State Bank for the Howe Police Department Ford F-150 in the amount of $21,000 plus interest due February 20, 2026, and authorize City Administrator Monty Walker to execute and sign all documents pertaining to this renewal. Discussion. This is the second payment of 3 payments for the police F-150. Each year we must renew this loan with South State Bank. The final payment will be made next year on February 13, 2027. Does the council wish to discuss this item? And if not, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Sean is making a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Billy makes that second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Number 5, discuss, consider, and act upon the renewal of the lease purchase agreement between City of Howe and South State Bank for 2 ambulances in the amount not over $40,000, including interest due March 10, 2026, and authorize City Administrator Monty Walker to execute and sign all documents pertaining to the renewal. Discussion, this is the 3rd payment, which will renew for 2 more years, with a final payment being made on March 10, 2028. Each year, we must renew this loan with South State Bank. Does the council wish to discuss this item? And if not, do I have a motion?
Chief, do these have 2 more years left in them? I know they were used when we acquired them. I just.
I believe they do, as long as we keep the maintenance up on them.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments? All right, if not, do I have a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
Billy makes that motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ed is making that second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Number 6,
Have you started making plans for new ones? I know 2 years sounds like a long time, but with the amount of money that this is going to entail, it's really not.
Yes, sir. We have started the process of either ordering a brand new box or what they call a remount box. We have started that process. It is being discussed between the leadership and what the best course of action will be at that time.
Thank you, sir.
thank you. Anybody else on the council have any questions or comments? Okay. Moved on to number 6, discuss, consider, and act upon a service agreement with Texoma Dog Ranch House in the amount of $7,200 annually to provide a location for any stray dog found in the within the City of Howe's authority. Discussion. The All-American Dogs costly monthly bill has been discussed in multiple city council meetings. Chief Sullivan has worked very hard at finding a solution. The Texoma Dog Ranch House service agreement is the solution. This is a $600 monthly total, which is a substantial reduction in cost and provides the necessary services we need. A 90-day notice has already been given to All American Dogs, stating that we no longer need service from them. Services with All American Dog will end on March 10, 2026. Does the council wish to discuss this item? And if not, do I have a motion?
I motion to approve as long as we can get a loose dog known as a Code Hill. For Michael Hill. As long as we can get a loose dog reported as a Code Hill for Michael Hill.
Is that your motion?
I motion to approve.
All right, Billy is making a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Sean is making that second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Next, we are going to have a discussion. This discussion I'm calling this a block discussion. This discussion will cover action items number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 14, which are road improvements and brush cutting. After the block discussion, I will read each action item individually for you to vote on. So we are not voting on them as a block. City Administrator Monty Walker will brief you on these action items. County Commissioner Josh Marr is in the audience if you have any specific questions for him after Monty gives the discussion points. So Monty, would you mind discussing action item number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 14?
Yes, ma'am. Each year we try to address our streets, and we have done a pretty remarkable job over the past 3 years of improving our streets after a period of time of not doing any. So I'm really proud of where we've gone. We want to continue that. The mayor has been very adamant about setting aside a healthy street budget, and we've also got some help from some development agreements that we've put in place. It's going to provide funding for one major road thoroughfare on this. The first one, item 7, is for East Young Street, and that's another coat to go on top of what's there right now, which we had repaired a couple of years ago. In the summer, the oil bleeds through, and so Commissioner Marr has presented to us $710 would forever fix this solution over there, or at least for the next few years. So item number 8 would be an interlocal agreement with Duke Street. You might have heard me talk about this to the P&Z earlier. We've negotiated with them $202,000, which we have invoiced them.
Them being Talbot.
Talbot, I'm sorry. The Oak National Development Group, and what we plan to do with that $202,000 is completely rebuild Duke Street from the service road all the way up to the railroad tracks. And that is a very high traffic area. It is not in good shape. We tried to get that done a couple of years ago, but Mission was doing an Atmos gas program, which delayed the project, and then Commissioner Marr got in here and doubled the price on us. So we've delayed it, but I'm glad we did, because we have the development agreement and the funds to do so now. So also, I want to thank Commissioner Marr, because he has agreed to also pave the old Patterson portion by the railroad tracks to Highway 5 in conjunction with the Duke Street project. So it'll loop back around. And so all the residents on Old Highway 6 can now come over the railroad tracks and take a left or a right. They don't have to go just right or go down a gravel road. So that's huge. So thank you, Commissioner Marr, for doing that. Next on the list is Swanner Drive, $44,880, and we've needed that for so many years, and I feel really bad for anybody who lives on that section, because it is so terribly bad and been neglected for many years. So we have instructed our public works crew, and they've already done it, to move the curbs that were rolled over anyway.
They was clocking out and going home anyway.
Yeah, those were in very bad shape, so we've rolled those over. The county commissioner's office asked us to do so before they do any road work, so we've got those done, and we'll be able to move forward with that one. Similar type situation with the another chip seal application on Hall Cemetery Road. That one's $8,880 to do that entire track with another layer, and that'll hold up for a very long time. Interlocal agreement with Farmington Road on each end, and this is a road, there's 2 sections of Farmington, and in the middle there's a very nice county road, but on the ends we are responsible for. One end hits 902 and the other hits Hall Cemetery Road. Both of those are treacherous. We've tried to do everything we can. We've thrown rock at it. We've grinded it down the best we can, but we really feel the best way to do this is to use the county, not in a chip seal normal way, but they've done some work with their new grinder machine out in Dorchester, and I wanted to inspect it to see if that's something that would be feasible for these ends. And I drove out there. It's a little dusty right now because they haven't applied the oil to it, but I think once they do that, I think it'll be a it'll be a much improved section for those out there on Farmington Road. Even though those that live on Farmington Road are not Howe citizens. We don't have a citizen that live on the portions that we are responsible for. But I think at least improving that section will be good for everyone. So we also have another, and that was $16,132 to do that section, by the way. The next one, item number 13, is Howe Street.
12. Item 12.
Item 12 is Hughes Street, and that one will stretch from the tech stock portion where they have to make that crazy turn. The trucks, they're supposed to turn on the tech stock portion and come up, which they don't a lot of times. But from that portion of Hughes Street all the way down to Duke Street, we're going to completely rebuild that road also. So that one is $121,419. And the reason for that one mainly is because, well, not mainly, but a lot of it is because we have so much EMT, EMS traffic. You know, when our guys are trying to hit a call very quickly, that is a very, very bad road to go down to try to get to a fire or an ambulance needs. So that is, we feel that's a very important section. And then finally, item number 14 is another interlocal agreement with the county on some brush cutting along various roads in the city limits. That to not exceed $3,584.80, and that's much needed. We do have some trimming to do around town, so I feel like all these together are much needed. We do have the budget for these, and we do have a budget for a little bit more should we want to do so later on, but not tonight. We're working on getting. We did get a quote from Commissioner Marr on West Davis Street by the South State Bank, and the developer has agreed to pay the majority of that. Now, the problem with that street is it's not our street. It looks like a street, but it ain't our street. It's platted as the owner's section from about 15 feet off of Highway 5. So in talking with the developer, I told him that, you know, in order for the city of Howe to take it over, it's going to have to be completed before we take it. And so he agreed to that. He's going to pay for that section, and then once that's complete, he'll deed it over to the city of Howe, and we'll work that out. But that'll be on the agenda coming later, probably maybe in February, if we can work out the details. So that's the synopsis of the whole street project for 2026.
Monty, action item number 14, the brush cutting.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you talk about that?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And Josh, just for clarification for citizens, you work on the streets during the summertime. So I just want to make sure people know that.
Yes, Mayor, that's correct. Howdy, Mayor, Council, as I stated, Commissioner Josh Marr. Correct. We mainly do in the summertime now. We did purchase that new grinder this past year, so that's going to allow us as a county department to work on work on our roads sooner. So we're going to be starting out towards Tom Bean, and we'll be moving back to this area. We anticipate to be on the Howe streets pretty much right after school is let out for the summer. So the way we have it scheduled already, we should be able to be around at that point, therefore won't interrupt any school traffic. Once we do come in and start grinding the streets, they will be rock for about 2 months and before we come back and then start applying that chip seal.
Okay.
So yes, in the summertime.
Thank you.
And all that routes.
Appreciate it.
The Farmington section will get done much sooner. As soon as the weather lets up, we'll get out there here in the next month or two, but
Okay.
the main grinding probably right after school, so end of May, 1st of June.
Thank you, sir. Moving on with our action items. Number 7, discuss, consider, and act upon interlocal agreement with Grayson County on road improvements for East Young Street for an amount not to exceed $710.40. Does the council wish to discuss this item? And if not, do I have a motion?
I make a motion we accept.
Ed makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Chad makes a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Number 8, discuss, consider, and act upon an interlocal agreement with Grayson County on road improvements for Duke Street in the amount not to exceed $160,920. Does the council wish to discuss this item? And if not, do I have a motion?
So I know I've asked this the last 2 years for you to explain the process of which streets do we work on. I'm gonna paraphrase your answers, because then we're gonna face those questions, you know, why not my street? Or why this street, or that street doesn't have any traffic? You have X amount of dollars to play with. You sit down with the new guy, Tim, the engineer, and y'all, you know, the powers that be at City Hall.
Public Works.
Y'all go through, you have X amount of dollars, you have this many feet of roadway that you can repair, where can we get the most bang for our buck, and that's how you pick those streets, correct?
Correct. And a lot of times, most of it's high traffic areas and, you know, the most treacherous streets. You know, there's some that weren't high traffic that we did last year, but we were going to lose them. I'm talking about Lane and Curtis Drive over there. If we didn't act quickly on those, we were going to lose those streets. So, but this year, I mean, you can make a case for every street that's being presented is in dire need of it.
Yeah, and it's like with Young Street, you know, we have to maintain these streets, and that's what we're wanting to do, like with in Young
Those
Streets.
questions are coming, I'd just like to get that information
Yes.
out there quickly.
And this is ongoing. I mean, you know, as we've done in years past, this is the 26th block, and next year we'll have a 27 block of streets that we'll do. And luckily, what we're doing is a massive rebuild of these streets. Now, we're having to do that because there was no maintenance in the past. We're going to get to a situation, since we're rebuilding their streets, they're going to be really nice, and then at some point, we just have to top coat them instead of rebuilding them.
$710.40 for a resurface is a lot cheaper than $160,000 or $120,000 for a replacement.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we
that's where-
appreciate
that-
Commissioner Josh Marr, because he's worked with us to give us a good deal on that, I feel.
And like I said, we'll address more streets as we keep going. We've got a plan to knock out as many as we can do as the budget allows.
All right, any other questions or comments?
Money?
Yes, sir.
As things progress in the city, as we approve things and these businesses get going, sales tax up a little bit now, will that extra revenue as this year goes by, will any of that affect how much goes in the road and streets?
Absolutely. As the sales tax flies into our budget, we can set aside more funds for street repair.
Yes.
And the good thing, you know, with our development agreements now, in our guidelines, when we deal with these developers, they're concrete streets. And those aren't going to require maintenance for a very, very long time. And just, you know, I know we're going to hear about Blythe Road, why it's not on the list. Blythe Road is awful. I get emails on it almost daily. It's terrible. I get it. We don't have one taxpayer out there. We don't even have anybody that calls Howe home that drives down that road. They're all mainly Van Alstyne ETJ residents. So, and knowing that there's $4 million set aside for that road coming very quickly, it's hard to throw money at something when they're just going to tear it up and put concrete. And I know the people that's driving that don't understand that, and they probably don't have the information about that. But that's the reality. Pretty soon, we're going to have a 2-lane concrete road from the middle of the road coming to our side on Blythe Road. And I'll be dancing when that day happens.
And it's especially hard to throw money at something like that when we have so many other streets that need to be worked on within the city. Any other discussion for this action item number 8? If not, do I have a motion?
I motion to approve number 8.
Billy makes that motion to approve action item number 8. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Sean makes a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Number 9, discuss, consider, and act upon an interlocal agreement with Grayson County on road improvements for Swanner Drive for the amount not to exceed $44,880. Does the council wish to discuss this item? And if not, do I have a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
Sean makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Chad makes that second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Number 10, discuss, consider, and act upon an interlocal agreement with Grayson County for road improvements for Hall Cemetery Road for the amount not to exceed $8,880. Does the council wish to discuss this item any further? And if not, do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
To
approve.
Billy makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ed makes a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Number 11, discuss, consider, and act upon an interlocal agreement with Grayson County on road improvements for Farmington Road for an amount not to exceed $16,132.04. Does the council wish to discuss this item? And if not, do I have a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
Sean makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Billy makes that second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Number 12, discuss, consider, and act upon an interlocal agreement with Grayson County for road improvements for Hughes Street for the amount not to exceed $121,419.84. Does the council wish to discuss this item? And if not, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Ed makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Chad makes a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Number 13, we will skip this. This was a typo, clearly. Number 14, it just says discuss, consider for anyone that doesn't have an agenda in front of you. That was the most important one.
Motion to approve that one.
Number 14, discuss, consider, and act upon an interlocal agreement with Grayson County on brush cutting along various roads in the city limits of Howe for an amount not to exceed $3,584.80. Does the council wish to discuss this item? If not, do I have a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
Sean makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Chad makes a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Yay, streets are getting done. Number 15, discuss, consider, and act upon the preliminary and final plat for Bain Machinery Addition. Discussion, Bain Machinery will build a new location on the north side of Southwest Auction. They purchased the 30 acres between that location and Abington Metals. These plats began the process of them being able to develop that property. Our engineer has reviewed and has no objection to these plans. City Engineer Tim Porter is present should you have a specific question for him. Does the council wish to discuss this item? And if not, do I have a motion?
We all heard the information given to the P&Z. I'll motion to approve.
Okay, Billy makes that motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Chad makes a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. 16, discuss, consider, and act upon the conveyance plat for Ponderosa Point. Discussion, this conveyance plat for Ponderosa Point is for Taco Bell, who will be constructing their site in North Howe. Our engineer has reviewed and has no objections to this plan. This item was also discussed for the P&Z, but if anyone has questions or comments, you're free to ask our engineer, attorney, or city administrator. And if not, do I have a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
Sean makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Billy makes a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Number 17, discuss. 17, discuss, consider, and act upon the final plat for Oak Park Development. Discussion, the final plat for Oak National Development is the Talbot development we've been working on for many months. Please note that the street names dedicated some of the street names are dedicated to the former Howe ISD superintendents Charles R. Thompson, Kevin Wilson, Arthur Boyle, and W.B. Wheeler. Our engineer has reviewed and has no objections to this plat. Also, this was an item that was discussed during the city council meeting, or P&Z meeting, excuse me, and our city attorney and city engineer are here if anyone has any further questions or discussion. And if not, do I have a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
Billy makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ed makes a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Number 18, discuss, consider, and act upon a preliminary and final plat for Life Fellowship. Discussion, city engineer Tim Porter and City Administrator Monty Walker did talk about this, and it was recommended to table this to the P&Z, that in good faith, since they're a church. Does the council have any further discussion or questions for city administrator, city engineer, or city attorney? And if not, do I have a motion? Again, the recommendation from the city administrator was to table.
I'll motion to table it till next month or whenever it's picked back up.
Billy makes a motion to table. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Chad makes a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. 19, discuss, consider, and act upon agreement between the City of Howe and 360 Broadband. And City Attorney will be discussing that.
Mayor, council, and we also have a representative of 360 Broadband here. This is an agreement that will address use of the right-of-way, and it is for fiber optics, correct?
Yes, sir.
And what the state law is very complicated in this area. There's right-of-ways, statutes that control what different things can be done. 360 has been approved by PUC under certain rules and procedures, so they have certain rights and remedies to use the rights-of-way. And so what we are working on is currently a document entitled a agreement concerning usage rights of way, and it will talk about various procedures for their use of the rights of way. It will have some fee structure in there that's generally in lieu of permitting fees. And so I will tell you that we don't have a document here complete today because the attorney that I'm working with on this is currently on vacation in he's on a ski trip. He was talking from the ski slopes, so I felt bad today. But we feel like we are close enough, and the mayor and the rest of the staff have been kind of monitoring and tracking the exchanges. We literally got another draft as I was getting in the car to drive over here. So I don't normally do this, but they have permits and things that are basically waiting in the office for this to get approved. So what we would like to do today is to authorize, or ask the council to authorize the completion by the city administrator of the agreement concerning right-of-way, subject to final agreement by staff review and completing the negotiations with 360. And I'll open it up so they can tell you a little bit about what they're planning to do here in the city, but that's the action item that we would be requesting, is just approval of an agreement subject to final review and approval by staff.
And I know we did shoot that document to Mr. Tidwell at 5:12 p.m. on our way over here, but I'll just read it, Bill. We accepted your good changes in section 9. We did attach a clean version as well, and then it also provides for the permitting costs to be paid by the company in the amount that we discussed on our phone conversation. So we did accept all of the changes that you and Mark Foster discussed. So, and we have attached the clean version and Monty has a email of that as well tonight. So.
Okay. All right, and just to clarify, Mr. Tidwell, the recommendation that you're making is that the council approves subject to agreement and approval by staff?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a motion? Or does anyone need to discuss this item or have questions?
I motion to approve what James said.
So approve.
That's the easiest way to do it.
Would it be?
I can't verbatim repeat what he said, but.
I wrote it, I typed it. So approval subject to agreement and approval by staff.
Yes. That.
Okay, that is the motion that Billy is making. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Sean is making a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Moving on to, let's see here, make sure I don't miss something. Ordinance number 844. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Howe, Texas, amending ordinance number 822, ordinance number 815, ordinance number 860, ordinance number 567, ordinance number 580, ordinance number 610, ordinance number 674, building code provisions and providing regulations and permit and inspection fees, repealing all ordinances and parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing for a penalty and an effective date. The discussion. With the help from the city engineer, Tim Porter, we have made necessary adjustments to make sure that we are not losing money in any area when it comes to permit fees. Ordinance number 844 reflects the adjustments made in our fee schedule. We will now open this up for public hearing. This allows citizens in the that are here today to make comment if you choose to do so. Do I have any citizens that would like to comment on ordinance number 844? Okay, since I do not have anyone wanting to make a comment, I'll now close the public hearing and go back into open session. Action item number 20, discuss, consider, and act upon ordinance number 844. Does the City Council need further discussion or clarification or have questions? And if not, do I have a motion?
I make a motion, we approve ordinance number 844.
Okay, Ed makes that motion to approve ordinance number 844. Do I have a second?
I'll second his motion.
Billy makes that second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. The motion passes. Ordinance number 845, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Howe, Texas, amending Howe's zoning ordinance as amended to zone a tract of land consisting of 45.48 plus or minus acres of land located in the West Park Survey, abstract number 0925, Grayson County, Texas, in the city of Howe, Grayson County, Texas, heretofore zoned A agricultural district, providing that the tract is hereby rezoned as SF1 single family residential district, describing the tract to be rezoned, providing a penalty clause, saving and repealing clause, severability clause, and effective date, and providing for the publication of the caption hereof. This is something that was on the P&Z. And what I heard Mr. Tidwell say basically is this: we are rezoning from agricultural to SF1, single family 1. This is because we have annexed the property for Talbot Estates.
Correct. And I would just state for the record that all of these items came with recommendation and approval from the P&Z. This is all right there.
Okay. So with that said, I'm going to open this up for a public hearing, allowing members of the public to speak on ordinance number 845 if you choose to do so. Do I have anyone from the public that wishes to have a discussion on this matter? Okay, since I do not have anyone from the public, I'm going to close the public hearing, open it back up to public session. Moving on to action item number 21, discuss, consider, and act upon ordinance number 845. Does the council need further discussion on this? And if not, do I have a motion?
I'll motion to approve ordinance number 845.
Sean makes that motion to approve ordinance 845. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Chad makes that second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Number 22, discuss, consider, and act upon authorizing petition for transfer of water CCN and related CCN proceedings between City of Howe and Luella Special Utility District. And our attorney, Mr. Tidwell, is going to give discussion.
Mayor, council, so this is another piece of the process regarding the Talbot subdivision that's going in out there. So you previously approved the agreement between you and Luella Special Utility District. A piece of that property was in the CCN, the water CCN of Luella Special Utility District, and so that the rest was in the City of Howe, so that all of the water would be served by one provider. The entities agreed to a transfer agreement. That was previously approved by the council. The PUC rules and requirements require that to be approved by the PUC. So this is just authorizing the process. It's a hearing before the State Office of Administrative Hearings and the PUC. So this is just authorizing me on behalf of the city to seek approval by the PUC of the agreement that's already been approved by both entities.
Thank you, sir. Does the council have any questions for Mr. Tidwell or any other questions or discussion? All right. If not, do I have a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
Billy makes that motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Chad makes a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Number 23, discuss, consider, and act upon moving the February 17, 2026 regular city council meeting to February 10, 2026. That's moving it up 1 week. That was discussed earlier during the mayor comments. Does the council need further discussion on this item? And if not, do I have a motion?
I'll motion to approve the move date of city council.
Thank you, Sean. Sean is going to make that motion to move the February 17th meeting, regular council meeting, to February 10. Do I have a second?
I second.
Ed makes that second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. All right, executive session. The City Council will convene into closed session pursuant to provisions of the Open Meeting Act, Chapter 551, Texas Government Code. The City Council will convene into executive session as authorized by the Texas Government Code 551.074, personnel matters, to deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee. Texas Government Code 551.071. Texas Government Code 551.071, consultation with an attorney on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with this chapter, Open Meetings Act. Discussion items will be personnel, consultation with an attorney. We will now go into executive session, and the time is 7:46 p.m.
What's that? What she wrote? Oh, man. My dad, he's a retired police officer, so I was watching NYPD Blue.
The council will now end executive session and return to open session. The time is 8:28 p.m. Action item 1, action, if any, on items from executive session. There will be no action taken. If there's no further business to come before this council, this meeting stands adjourned at 8:28 p.m. Thank you all and have a good night.